Hey, the Jazz Doctor here. Right now is the best time for you to make a pledge and support our students in the Student Learning Lab during our fall membership drive here at 91.1 WHFC. Support us with what you can at WHFC911.org. And thanks.
Hey everyone, it's Rich Bennett. Can you believe it? The show is turning 10 this year. I am so grateful for each and every one of you who've tuned in, shared an episode, or even joined the conversation over the years. You're the reason that this podcast has grown into what it is today. Together, we've shared laughs, tears, and moments that truly matter. So I want to thank you for being part of this journey. Let's make the next 10 years even better.
Coming to you from the Freedom Federal Credit Union Studios, Harford County Living presents Conversations with Rich Bennett.
Slow pitch
It's probably the least sexy part of the organizing. It's okay. No. The truth is,
Today's guest is living proof that even the most turbulent lives can be turned around. Not by luck, but by grit, grace, and a whole lot of hard work. John Carter's story reads like a movie. A teenage gangster collecting debts for the Worcester Mafia, gunned down and left for dead, trapped in a wheelchair and spiraling into addiction. But that's not where it ends. In today's episode, you'll hear how John fought his way back from a coma, prison, and total hopelessness to become a personal trainer, business owner, TEDx speaker, and passionate advocate for others battling adversity. His journey is raw, emotional, and inspiring. And it's all captured in his book, Triggered to Change, Overcoming a Life Full of Turbulence. We're talking redemption, resilience, and the power of second chances with a little help from a Great Dane named Jagger. How's it going, John?
I'm good, boss. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you for having me, Rich. It's a pleasure.
My pleasure. And those of you, before we even get into it, those of you listening, I'm going to tell you where to go already. Go to turbulencebook.com, purchase John's book, and after you read it, make sure you leave a full review, whether it be on Amazon, Goodreads, wherever you can leave reviews. Make sure you leave a full review. I know you're going to love it. And then purchase copies for other people that you think would like it, which I'm sure that's probably everybody that you know. The website is turbulencebook.com, right, John?
Correct. That's my offer website.
Okay. Correct. How many different websites you have?
Well, I have my gym website, too.
Well, let's get the websites out of the way. What's that?
My website is www.titaniumhealthfitness.com.
Titaniumhealthfitness.com. Any other websites I need to know about?
That's it, my friend.
You sure?
I'm positive.
Okay. All right. So I want to start with the title of the book, Triggered to Change. What does that phrase mean to you personally?
Well, triggered to change, no pun intended, Rich, I was shot in the back of the head. And so that's where I came up with. Now, if you see I have my book behind me, you can see me pushing the ball up the hill.
Yeah.
That was pushing the ball out of hell. Because, Richard, that's who I was. Hell. So I pushed that ball up and I made it to the top, Richard.
Nice.
So,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I was just going to give you a little rundown of my life prior to this accident I'm going to talk about.
Sure.
I grew up in a very unconventional life, Richard. My father was in the mafia, the mob. And I loved my dad, Richard. He was the best father. I mean, he never missed a ball game. He was right there for me. And so
you're talking the Italian mafia, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And so when he died, I wanted to wear his shoes, Richard. But I was not his size. So I found myself immediately I found myself in a world of trouble.
Oh, God.
This man, instead of paying me a gambling debt, decided to try to attempt to murder me and shoot me in the back of the head and leave me to die.
Jesus.
But Richard, being shot in the back of the head was the easy part of my story, as it spiraled out of control with gambling, drugs, alcohol, food, all kinds of addictions. And then even prison stay, Richard, before I finally turned the page.
Wait, so you went to prison after you were shot?
Correct.
Wow.
Correct. So after I got shot, I'm sorry, yeah. After I got shot, I got out of the hospital after 9 months. 30 days of that, 90 days of that was in a coma.
Wow.
Now, Richard, this coma was one long dream, but it wasn't a hazy dream. It was very vivid. This dream happened back in 1992, Richard, and I remember it like it was yesterday.
Really?
Oh, it was incredible. So the moral of this dream was we were in a hospital, chained to our beds, and I had no idea why I was there. I didn't know the people who were there. And every day we had a swimming race. They got us into the pool, and we had a swimming race. The winner of that race went home. Richard, it hurt like hell to get into that pool, to get out of bed. It was all a dream, but it hurt like hell. And this is the first time in my life I said this. I said, I quit. I give up. I'm not doing this no more, because I kept losing and losing and losing. I said, I'm not doing this no more. That night, an older man sat in my bed. Well, I had no idea who it was. And he said, you're not going to quit. I'm here. You're not alone. And you're not going to give up. I'll train you and I'll coach you. And he would take me down to that pool daily, and he trained me and he coached me. So now it was the day of the big race. He gets me out of bed, he gets me down to the pool, gives me this big pep talk, gets me going. I remember swimming like a bat out of hell. I touched the wall, and I woke up. So
you actually woke up from the coma?
I woke up from the coma. The dream was over. Now I'm in real life.
So that dream actually helped shape your recovery then?
Oh, my goodness. I'll never forget it. Never. So now I get out of the hospital, Richard. I spent another 6 months in the hospital after 3 months in a coma, so a total of 9 months.
Right.
I get out, and I go to my apartment. My mom had an apartment set up for me, a basement apartment. I thought I was going to get this big reception, a lot of friends. Nobody.
What?
I went in, the depression quickly settled in. I was in my wheelchair, in an apartment, and I thought my life was over. I just started eating. I had alcohol. Before I knew it, I was snorting cocaine. My life was out of control. I was now 300 pounds, sitting in a wheelchair, snorting coke and drinking daily, but I couldn't afford my habit no more. So I came up with this big bright idea to become a drug dealer. I just get shot in the head, and my best idea is to become a drug dealer. Well, this went on for a few months, but the police didn't find this too amusing. So, boom! 10 cops come barreling through my door. At first, I thought I was being robbed. But then I heard the walkie-talkies, and Richard, this is where it changed. And I smiled ear to ear. I was so happy. I said to myself, this is over. I remember smiling, and the cop actually looking at me and saying, what the hell is so funny here?
Right.
I said, sir, you don't understand how bad it is for me right now. This is probably a good thing.
Wow.
So they find drugs and cash in my house, and they arrest me. They bring me. I immediately get bailed out of jail, though. So I was fortunate. And I was with my brother-in-law, and he said to me, you have to get sober. Richard, I had no money, no drugs, nowhere to go. I had no options.
Yeah.
I said, sure, take me. So that started. From detox, I had to be interviewed to get into a halfway house.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to the halfway house. I'm ready to meet the executive director. So I wheel in, I'm sitting in the office, I'm waiting for her. Richard, this blew my mind. In comes this walking lady. She's walking, but she's wobbling. I can see there's something wrong. Then she sits down and proceeds to tell me how she had a cocaine-induced coma 20 years prior to this. This is back in 1994. So she was already sober for 20 years. She explained to me how she almost died. She was in a wheelchair. And I remember looking at her, Richard, the wheelchair was hell. Hell.
Yeah.
I said, I could believe it. This woman, this is the first time I've ever seen somebody get over something like that.
Right.
She was walking. I couldn't believe she gave that wheelchair up. I said, I want this. She was glowing. She was happy. I said,
Yeah.
I want this. Well, Richard became my best friend. I listened to every word she said. She actually is the person who wrote the foreword in my new book. I have a very close relationship with her. She taught me how to live.
Is that Deb?
That's Deb.
Okay.
Yes. Excellent. So, but I still have this court case hanging over my head. Now,
Right.
I've been in this halfway house for 8 months now. I'm sober. I have a good support system. I'm in a wheelchair. I said, this judge is going to have leniency on me. It's my first offense. Never been arrested. I said, there's no way he's going to give me time. He's going to be lenient. Well, this judge, he was about 90. He looked down at me. I was in my wheelchair looking up at him, thinking, he's going to give me some leniency. He said, Mr. Carter, he said, we don't discriminate in this courtroom. You will get the same sentence any drug dealer in my city gets. And Richard, he gave me 10 years. He gave me 10 years.
Nothing reduced. 10 years solid?
10 years.
Wow.
And I was so upset, and I was so mad at the beginning, but that all changed, and I'll get into that. But that all changed, Richard.
Right.
So now he gave me a stay of execution, meaning I had to show up at jail a week later. So
Okay.
I got to go home with Deb that night. And I remember she pulled the car over. She looked right at me. She said, John, many people would run, she said. Face your fears. You'll get through this. And I'm here for you. You're not alone. So what did I do, Richard? After prison, I went because I didn't deviate a word from what she said. She was like God to me. After prison, I went, what would you do in prison, Richard? I'm a big tough guy. I thought I was. Richard, I cried like those metal doors shut. I was in a cell no bigger than a bathroom, and I cried like a baby. I said, this is my life for the next 10 years. The next morning, 3 guys into my cell. And I said, oh, my God, I'm in trouble here. But my dad was in the mafia. He had a good name in the legal world.
Right.
So they said, we're friends of your dad's, and we're here to help you. And we're going to start by you getting out of that wheelchair. I've been in the wheelchair for years. I'm like, what are you? They said, we don't care if we have to carry you. You're not using that wheelchair in this jail. Rich, for months, they took me down to the prison gym. They trained me. I was getting stronger and stronger using that chair less and less.
Nice.
Unbelievable, Richard. And who would have thought 3 convicts in jail would have taught me this lesson? So now, in prison, this is getting up to my story. In prison, I seen a lot of recidivism. A lot of people coming in, getting out, coming back in.
Right.
And I remember a lesson my dad taught me as a kid. Fail to plan, plan to fail. I said, this is not me. I'm going to make a plan. I'm not doing this. So immediately I called Deb back to the halfway house in Boston. And she says, oh, I've been waiting for this call. She said, of course we're going to help you. Of course you could. And Richard, thank God, because I was 32. I got out of prison with $100 and a bus ticket. What were my chances if I went back to Worcester and hung out with my old friends?
Exactly.
Zero.
Yeah.
So I stuck with my plan and I took the left. I got on the bus. I went to Boston and I was petrified. But I said, I believe them and I'm going to do this. And thank God, because now I'm an owner of my own gym, teaching others to be how they can inspire and motivate themselves, Richard. It's unbelievable.
Wow. That, you know what, that there alone, because you hear stories all the time how people are in a wheelchair and they think they'll never walk again.
Right.
And if you try hard enough and keep thinking that you're going to, eventually I don't want to say you will, but eventually you may.
Correct.
I think of, I don't know if you ever heard of Diamond Dallas Page.
Oh, yes.
Okay. You've seen what he's done with people.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. People that were never even able to walk again or even get out of a wheelchair. And now just from yoga and training.
Unbelievable.
Here they are running marathons and everything.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And imagine if you would have never met Deb. Where do you think you'd be right now?
Richard, I would have never made it to jail.
Yeah.
You know, I would have never have made it when I got out of jail with $100 at 32. I would have got right back up on the mix of things that night. I would be lucky, Richard. Lucky if I made it back to detox again. Lucky. No matter where I am now, I'd be lucky if I made it back to detox. Because many don't. Richard, let me tell you this. At the halfway house, we were sitting in a circle, and Deb says, everybody here that wants to see sober, raise your hand. Everybody in the room obviously raised their hand.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, now the fact is one out of 32 stay sober. So one of you are going to stay sober. Richard, I go back to the halfway house now. We have pictures of my class where I was back in 1994. Dead, jail. Richard, I was the only one to stay sober out of the 32 people.
Wow.
Unbelievable. And so when you have sobriety, do not give it up.
No.
And I just want to say this about sobriety, and I want to talk about relapsing real quick.
Mm-hmm.
When people, and this is why shows like yours are so important, because it gives people like me a chance to speak and tell my story. See, when you forget how bad that day when you went to detox, because I don't know about anybody else, but my life was not free and peachy when I went to detox.
Right.
So I want to remember how bad that was. So it never gets easy to go back there. I always remember how bad it was because I'm always talking.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you stop talking, you stop doing that, and that day wasn't too bad. I could do that again. It wasn't that bad, because they forget. And before they know it, they're back at the drinking again, drinking and drugging.
Mm-hmm. People don't realize that whether it's alcohol, drugs, or whatever, anybody can relapse at any time. It's very dangerous.
Very dangerous.
But the other thing too, and I'm sure you have noticed this, especially with Deb. There's people you were hanging around when you were doing the drugs and the drinking. They wouldn't really have your back.
No.
However, people in recovery, I call it that recovery circle, that recovery family.
There you
They
go.
always have each other's backs.
Oh my goodness. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
It's a big difference.
The support they give.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big support.
It's amazing. I want to talk about the gym a minute. You
Sure.
said, it's Titanium Health and Fitness?
Correct.
Okay. So what actually makes your gym different from other gyms?
Well, first of all, Richard, my gym was completely private.
Okay.
But I want to tell you how I got into this. So
Okay.
when I got up, I told you how the convicts in prison taught me health.
Right.
And I was feeling great. The endorphins were being released into my body. I was feeling awesome about myself. I was in jail in a 6-foot cell, now weighing 260, feeling great about myself, loving it. You know, so when I got out, I knew I wanted to continue this fitness stuff.
Right.
So I interviewed at all the local gyms in Boston, and none of them would give me the time of day. I wouldn't walk a straight line. I'm disabled. I'm slurring my speech. You know, what can you do for us? Well, one day I just was going to work out, and I was going to Boston Sports Club, and I was in my gym stuff instead of my interview equipment. So my body's fit. So
Right.
my walking gait and my slurred speech, that kind of takes a backseat because you can see I'm fit. So I'm working out, and I spot the manager. And he's a big, muscular guy, very intimidating. And they're looking at me, smiling, giving people towels, greeting people. I said, I'm going to test this man. I'm going to take a chance here. So I waited till he was alone, and I hit him up. He said, I got a few minutes, and we can set my office and talk, he said. Well, that few minutes ended up to an hour conversation. He said, can you start tomorrow? I said, sure. And he said, okay, just fill out this application. And I still haven't told him about prison yet.
Right.
And that's on there. I said, oh, geez, here we go. What am I going to do here? I said, you know what? I'm going to go for it. I'm going to be
why not?
I'm going to be truthful and honest. So I tell him the whole story. He don't bat an eyelash. He says, can you start tomorrow? And I sat back and I looked. I said, I just told you I'm the next felony here. I've been out of jail a week. He said, thank you for being honest. Thank you, he said. And I just wish, he says to me, I just wish my mom was here to speak with you. His mom had passed away of alcoholism a couple of years prior to this.
Oh, wow.
And he said, if she heard you speak, she might not have had another drink. She said, wow. So now I go home and my phone rings. I get the phone call. He says, my morning guy just called out. Could you fill in? I'm an hour away. I can't get there. And I said, sure, man. You know, he gave me the combination to his. I'm looking. I said, this guy just gave me the combination to an ex-felon to go to his gym. I couldn't believe this. So I go there at 5:30. I open up. Right away, this gentleman comes in. Now, when you join Boston Sports Club in Boston, you get what's called a PFW, a private free workout.
Okay.
So if you join the gym, you get a trainer for a session. So this man came in, and he was looking for the guy I was filling in for. So I said, yeah, I got some time. I can take care of you. Let's go in the office and have a little chat before I take him to a full workout.
Right.
He starts how he has diabetes, He has a lower back disc problem. His neck.
Wow.
I was so overwhelmed. I'm trying to keep a straight face. I was just so overwhelmed. So I said, let's go have a little light workout. I took him to the floor. I was talking with him. We had a little light workout. The gym was kind of empty, so I was able to speak a lot to him.
Yeah.
Now we go back to the office, and it's my time to sell him on a package. This is where I need to make him my client now.
Right.
That's my job. So I hand him a menu of the packages, the prices. He says, oh, I'll take one of these 50 packages. Richard, it was $6,000.
Good Lord.
I almost had a backflip. I'm trying to keep a straight face. I couldn't believe this was happening to me. Now it's about 6:30, and I see my manager walk in. He says, sir, can you excuse me? And I hustle up to my manager. I said, David, this guy wants to buy it 50. He said, stop kidding and playing with me. I said, David, seriously? He says, follow me. We walked into the office. He closed the deal like a magician. He was awesome. So now the guy leaves. And David turns to me and he says, we've been selling 50 packs for 2 weeks in this gym. And you're the first person in Boston to sell one. How's that for my first day?
Nice.
So now, about 6 months go by, and this guy, David, was leaving the company to open his own gym.
Mm-hmm.
And it was real quick while I get the phone call from him asking me to come join him. So I said yes. So I came to his gym. I came from Boston Sports Club, a big gym. Now this is a 1,500 square foot private small gym where I have to get my own clients. I have to do my marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was going well. I was working for him. It was going very well. But then he wanted to leave. He wanted to either make the gym more public, more trainers with more clients. And I already had my clientele. I had elderly clients, clients with disabilities, clients that just wanted to work out in private.
Yeah.
So I said to myself, you know what? I have to. And I bought him out. I bought him out. Richard,
nice.
It was the best thing I ever did. When I did it, I had $18 left to my name. The gym office was my bedroom. Oh, yeah, I've been in business.
Wow.
I've been in business 14 years now. The gym office was my bedroom, and because I couldn't afford to rent it. And that's how it started. And that gentleman from 2001 is still my client today.
Is he really?
I trained him, his wife, his son, and his daughter.
That's amazing.
That's where it's at, Richard. I do no marketing. It's all by word of mouth. I retain my clients. I don't pick up clients often. It's a private one-on-one gym.
Right.
So my clients stayed with me for years, and I love that. I'm able to build a rapport, and that's how I came out with this book. See, Richard, when I open my gym, I have a client coming in. I'm not going to say, oh, I was in the mob, I was a drug dealer, I was in prison, I got shot in the head. But give me some money and join my gym.
No, you're worried about helping them.
They railed the door on me.
Yeah.
So I came up, not with a lie, but with a story. I just said I was shot in the head in a hunting accident, and we left it at that. So it wasn't a lie. I did get shot in the head.
We're being hunted.
And I just didn't tell him I was the one being hunted, Rich.
Right.
I just left that part out. And so I did that. But when you're spending time with somebody, you build a rapport. I'm in a private setting. 3 times a week, I build a rapport with them. So over time, with this one woman who I really trusted, and I have not told anybody my story yet. The real story. And over time, I would divulge a little piece here and there. And finally, she said, I just thought you were in a car accident. I didn't realize you did this. She said, you have to do a TED Talk.
Yep.
But he had the connections. I remember going to my first interview with TED Talk people,
Mm-hmm.
and I came out. I said, "What the hell did you get me involved with here? There was no way I could do this." You know what she said, Richard? She says, "You're not alone. I'm going to help you. We can do this."
Nice.
For months, they had coaches coach me how to do this TED Talk. Richard, I did my TED Talk, and I got a standing ovation. It was that adrenaline pumping. I felt I was on the football field again. It was incredible. So that's when I realized I inspire my clients. They like this. Now I see how it was seen by a whole group of people. I said I have to get it out there more. So that's what inspired me to write this book. One of the things. The other thing is I'm involved with a charity. It's called Service Dog Project. We raise, train, and donate Great Danes for the mobility impaired. And it starts with veterans, first responders, then the general public.
Yeah.
And what an organization, Richard. What an organization. I have two great things myself.
Let's take a little break here. I want to tell you about my friends over at Elite Power Washing. They take care of pressure washing, house washing, roof cleaning, gutter cleaning. They are truly the elite company when it comes to pressure washing. To see their work, to see what they've done, everything looks brand new. And there are even a lot of businesses out there that use them as well. Sean and Tina and their crew know what they're doing. They know how to make your property look like it's brand new. And again, I mean, they handle everything. Pressure washing, house washing, which, yes, there is a difference. Roof cleaning, gutter cleaning, window cleaning, concrete cleaning, paver cleaning, deck cleaning. So whether you're in Baltimore, Harford, or Cecil County, if you need something taken care of when it comes to pressure washing, call the Elite Power Washing team. They will get it done for you. They are the exterior cleaning professionals. They know what they're doing. Go to elitepowerwashingmd.com or call them at 410-705-9274. Again, it's 410-705-9274. Tell them Rich from Harford County Living sent you.
Actually, I wanted to mention that because the logo for your gym, who came up with that? I love it.
Oh, yes.
I think, is that Jagger?
That's Jagger. Yes, that was my original.
Okay.
That's Jagger. Jagger was my original Great Dane, and he got very sick. And I had to retire him. We saved his life. I had to retire him from my service dog, and I made him my pet. And I received turbulence. But little did I know, Richard, my mom, who's 82 with dementia, lives with me. And who would have thought Jagger would have become her service dog? I couldn't. Richard, she'll be crying, and she'll be sitting in the wheelchair, and she'll start crying for no reason, just, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Jagger gets right up, goes right over, puts his big head on her lap. She totally forgets why she was crying, smiles from ear to ear. I mean, it's anybody with a family battling dementia or Alzheimer's, I'll tell you, oh, unbelievable. These dogs are unbelievable. And here's another story. Now, the Service Dog Project, while you're waiting for a dog, because when you sign up and you get approved to get a dog, it's about 1.5 to 2 years wait. It's a volunteer farm.
And they're strictly Great Danes, right?
They're strictly Great Danes.
Okay.
So I'll go up there. I met a lot of veterans waiting for dogs. I met this one veteran. He came back from Afghanistan, and he was involved in an explosion, but it didn't hit him. It was head trauma from the explosion. And so he came in, and I went to go meet Jagger to go to his pen, to go pat him. This is before I received Jagger. I didn't even know I was getting him yet. And this man was in there, so I introduced myself, and he was this veteran. And we were talking. He says, "Oh, I love Jagger. I hope they give me him." I said, "Wait a second here." And then I thought, this guy's a freaking hero. He deserves this stuff. Richard, they're all beautiful dogs. You can't go wrong. I said, give this man what he wants. But fortunately for me, he received I'm still in contact with him. He has a great dog, and he's doing great. But I received Jagger. He was my favorite dog. Richard, talk about a godsend. If you knew me growing up, I was the biggest Rolling Stone fan in the world. No.
Yes, I saw that in your trailer for your book.
Oh, my God. Biggest Rolling Stone fan. Now, Jagger was named after Mick Jagger himself.
Makes sense.
The Livers have themes. So his theme was the rock stars. His brother Bowie and Ringo and his sister Adele. And I watched it. When I went up there for the first time, my nephew was with me. He said, if they ever gave you this dog, it's a godsend.
Mm-hmm.
Can you believe it? I mean, Richard. I mean, really? So immediately I get Jagger, and I know Jagger needs a friend. So what do? I give him a cat. And what do I name the cat? Mick. So I got Mick and Jagger. Oh, they're great. They're great friends.
I love that. Oh, God. Wait a minute. When you getting Keith?
Actually, when I got Turbulence, before I knew I was getting him, I knew my next great thing, I was getting him either Watts or Charlie, after Charlie Watts.
Right.
Wait
a minute. Turbulence has nothing to do with the Stones.
No, he doesn't. He was a different dog, but then when I seen him and he had his name, I said, he is very turbulent.
Oh, he already had the name.
Oh, yeah, they're already named.
Okay.
And so here's another story with Turbulence. I was going down, my daughter and my grandkids live in Florida, and I wanted to go visit them. Richard, I was petrified. I had trouble going to the backyard. Never mind going to Florida with a 200-pound Great Dane. I was so scared.
On a plane, right?
Yeah, on a plane.
Wow.
But right in the cabin, he goes. So it went so smooth. The dog was the best. No noises, no nothing distracted him. So we get on the plane. I'm going to the cabin. The pilot's there. And he says, hold on a second. And he grabs the microphone. He said, folks, he said, we have a little turbulence on board today. We can't get rid of it.
Oh, God.
So, Richard, Turbulence taught me that I can go anywhere in this world without the fear of falling down and getting hurt. I can do anything now. I love that. He gives me freedom.
Oh, now, do you know how long it actually takes them to train these dogs?
About a year and a half, and they start right at birth.
Right.
Within a month, they're going to Starbucks. They're being socially trained to be very pleasant. So they start training them at a very young age.
I mean, you hear service animals all the time, but in all honesty, I've never heard of one that they do strictly Great Danes.
Unbelievable.
And those things get huge.
So, Richard, we do this. We take a European Great Dane and an American Great Dane, and we breed them. The American Great Dane is kind of lanky, kind of skinny. The European
Marmaduke.
Right, the European Great Dane is stocky like a Rottweiler, but
right. So
we mix them and we get a taller, bigger Weiler. Like my Great Dane is 200 pounds. Richard, I'm 6'2", 210. I need a big sturdy dog. I walk around with a cane. I stub my toe or something. That cane goes flying. I'll go tumbling. I gotta hold the Turbulence by the collar.
He ain't letting you fall.
See, like, I might stumble and go down a little, but he'll break 90% of my fall.
Right.
He's unbelievable.
Those of you listening, God, it's something with service dogs, and I guess it's because, being in the Lions Club for so long, they're just so amazing. And what I do love is the fact that, and you did this with Jagger, when they retire a service dog, you're allowed to adopt them. And I don't think that's the case with all of them. But, the good thing is the Service Dog Project, you can do that. So those of you listening, also, besides the other two websites, go to servicedogproject.org and make sure you donate, because training these dogs is one thing. Great Danes, I'm sure, like to eat a lot of food.
Oh, my goodness.
So they definitely can use the help for that.
Richard, it's $750,000 a year to feed them.
Wow.
$750,000. Now, Purina was donating all the food.
Right, okay.
But then when COVID hit, the supply chain got mixed up and they couldn't do it anymore. Richard, that's when, oh my goodness. So the proceeds, I forgot to mention, the proceeds of this book are helping the farm.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So that's what inspired me, because we're struggling, because we're moving complexes right now. We're moving to a different farm. We built it from scratch. And
right.
It's a little financially hard right now because we don't get grants from the government. We rely strictly on great people like you and their viewers to help out.
So how'd you actually find Service Dog Project? Or did they find you?
No, I was just watching TV. I just seen the guy walking with a dog. I really didn't realize it was. I said, "Oh, what a great idea!" So I did my research, and there's two farms in America that sell Great Danes. Mm-hmm. Well, the Service Dog Project don't sell them; they donate them to the person for free. The other place is a private money making machine. They're in North Dakota, and they're $58,000. A Great Dane at birth is $5,000. Now you're talking a year and a half to 2 years of extensive training. But I'm not rich. But if I was a wealthy man, I wouldn't have waited 2 years for a dog. I would have went immediately and got one.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
And they even, looking at their website, it looks like they even have service dogs that help people that have Parkinson's as well.
Oh, any kind of mobility. Richard, here's another story. I met a 12-year-old boy, Ben, and he had multiple sclerosis. He walked with those canes. And it's a volunteer farm, so he was waiting for his dog. He didn't know what dog he was getting. And I'm talking to him. He says, "John, do you really think they're going to give me a dog?" I said, it's not a question of if, it's when.
It's when.
When they match you to the dog. You might not get Honey here, who he loves. They have eyes on you. They even if you don't know they're watching you, you're on camera, they're keeping it close. They know exactly what you need. So they're going to tail the dog towards you. Richard, he received his dog, and his parents, who I'm friends with on Facebook, still rant and rave how they changed this kid's social life. They said they didn't see a smile on his face in years. They said now they can't wipe it off. He's walking down the corner of his high school, never mind with those big canes.
Yeah.
He's walking over a 200-pound Great Dane. His parents said not only the school, they said everybody in our whole town knows who he is. He's a star.
I love it.
Richard, they changed that kid's life. The confidence that kid has now. that kid's gonna be a superstar. You were just telling me about a story about the guy who had Down syndrome and opened up his own business. That's because his parents distilled confidence in him at a young age. He can do anything. That kid's gonna do anything he wants.
And you know what? I wish more people would do that, because, and I'm even thinking of those men in prison that walked into your cell to help you, and the gentleman that hired you to come into the gym, or to basically work at the gym. We need more people like that are going to help people with different abilities and look at them like they're just like us.
There you go.
Because they are.
Exactly.
Just because, whether you can't walk or you can't speak right, you can't see, you can't hear. Let me tell you, there's a lot more things you can do that we probably can't.
Unbelievable. So let me tell you another story. I was just showing this woman that she can do something. On my TED Talk, a woman was watching it, and she called me. She says, my sister just woke out of a coma. When she gets out of the hospital, would you work with her? I said, well, my daughter's a service dog. I can come up to the hospital.
Yeah.
So that day, I went up there. We built a rapport, and I was visiting her often. Now, she had a brain aneurysm. I don't want to say never, but she was in tough conditions.
Yeah.
Very tough conditions. And she would be crying, and I would say, look at the positive things. She said, what the hell is so positive about this? I said, well, and she was a children's book author. She did illustrations in children's book.
Okay.
I said, well, you can move your right arm. So instantly we broke out the easel, and now she's painting and smiling. I said, look at that. That's one single thing you didn't think you could do. And now look at this. It just changed your whole day. You're not going to be in bed feeling sorry for you. You can, unbelievable.
It's amazing. It's amazing the things that never give up on yourself.
There you go.
And that's
right here, Richard. You see it?
I love it. I love it.
Never give up.
At first, when I saw so those of you that can't see, John's wearing a shirt that says "Never Give Up." I was going to ask you at first if you were a John Cena fan, since he is from Massachusetts.
Sure.
And that's his. He always says "Never give up."
Never give up, baby.
Yeah. But oh man, I want to talk about the writing with the book.
Sure.
How long did it actually take you to write?
Well, Richard, I didn't graduate high school. I dropped out in the 11th, and I didn't pay attention for the previous 10. So Lord knows I'm no scholar. I consider myself an author, but I am definitely not a good writer. I'm a horrible writer. So the book, Richard, I couldn't put the pencil down. The draft of my story was done in the weekend. I didn't sleep, I don't think, for the whole weekend. I just couldn't put the pen down. I just kept writing and writing. It was the rough draft. If you had read it, it wouldn't have made any sense to you. But for me, it made perfect sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, what was the hardest part to write for you?
Well, the hardest part was to write about my dad, because I really miss him. I really miss him. And, Richard, I have a lot of difficulties. Lots of difficulties. But one thing I don't have difficulty in is being grateful, Richard.
Yes.
I've been helped by so many people. I talked about the judge, how I was so upset that he gave me 10 years. Richard, he did me a favor.
He changed your life.
I wrote him a letter thanking him for what he did. I was dealing drugs in this city. Who am I? Because I'm sitting in a wheelchair, I deserve a break? No, absolutely not. I'm dealing drugs. Drugs ruin families, Richard.
Mm-hmm.
Who am I to get it because I'm in a wheelchair? Too freaking bad. Well, the guy who shot me, I was never mad at him. I didn't cross the street and get hit by a bus. Then I'd feel a little sad, but why me?
Yeah.
But this guy shot me in the head. It was my fault. I was playing with fire. It was only a matter of time before I got burned. If he didn't shoot me, somebody else would have. I was involved in it. You know, it's only a matter of time.
Living a dangerous life.
Yeah, what do you end up?
Yeah. You know, and I'm glad you said that about the judge, because I think a lot of people, they are quick to blame somebody else for something that, you know, like with the judge or people that get fired from a job, they're quick to blame the person that fired them. To me, if something like that happens, which, and you did, turn your life around. And,
Correct.
you know, you're great. If that judge wouldn't have done that, you may not be here today.
Richard, he wrote me back. And from prison, I sent him a letter thanking him and explaining why I was mad and why I'm positive and what I think he did for me. He wrote me back here, big, huge. I couldn't believe it. I cried. I hope you do well. On and on and on. I couldn't believe it.
Have you seen him since that time?
No, he was 90 when I went to prison.
Oh, that's right. Oh, okay.
He's not around no more.
Okay. All right. So, John, you got a lot of great stories of people you've helped, but can you share another story of somebody that you've helped, especially with the gym part?
Richard, I take pride in this. Recently, well, she's been my client for 18 months. She's my project right now. I always have a project going on. She came in to me about a year and a half ago, 22 years old, in college, couldn't look up, head down, shoulder press, 340.
Whoa!
So depressed, but beautiful. I raised her chin up. I said, we're going to take care of this. You're going to see. Richard, now she weighs 340. Now she's at 217.
Wow.
Richard, smile for me in the ear, face always up, confident, thriving in life, and she's unbelievable. She said how this changed her life. And I know from experience, to lose that kind of weight, Richard, it's life-changing.
Yes,
At the age of 22, she was 22 years old. She has a whole life ahead of her. If she was battling her weight problem for a decade,
wow,
it changed her life. She's so excited. I love that. I love helping people.
Yeah.
And I have lots of stories like that, because most of my clients come in here, hurt shoulder, hurt back, so it's a rehab training in one, and they become my client.
Yeah.
So I have lots of stories like that. People, like my client, she just turned 71 2 days ago. She's been with me for 10 years now, but when she first came in, her goal was to carry the water bucket to her garden. That was her goal. That's all she wanted. Richard, this lady, she can do a backflip. She's unbelievable. She can go to her garden. She carries the water. She carries the soil. She don't have to ask for help. She's going on an airplane. She can pick the packages and throw them overhead. Nice. She can take care of her husband's luggage. So that alone, she feels so strong and healthy. And at the age of 71, to feel strong and healthy, she says, I'm doing stuff now I couldn't do when I was 50.
You know what? Here's the thing. Age is just a number.
That's it.
Don't stop. Don't stop exercising. We had a lady on not too long ago, 101 years old, I believe. And she was at the house with her trainer.
Imagine this.
She still trains. And she looked amazing.
Unbelievable.
Simply amazing.
Good for her.
So what's the next big thing for John? More speaking engagements? Another book? What?
Well, actually, it's funny. The woman that was in a coma that I went and seen in the hospital, she had her daughter that I just happened to run into. And she says, "Oh, you're John Carter." She says, "I just watched your TED Talk." She says, "Me and my team have been searching for a documentary, and we don't have enough funding for one." She says, "I think we found it." She says,
Yes.
"Will you do it?" I said, "Oh, my God, of course. Richard, this is 5 years ago. The documentary's come out in about 2 months."
Really?
Yeah. So, Richard, they treated me like a movie star. I couldn't believe that people actually go through life being treated like this. I didn't want it to end. They were rolled out the red carpet for me. They treated me like I cried when it was over. I didn't want it to end.
Now, what's the documentary going to be called?
The documentary doesn't have a name yet.
Okay. You got it. You have to let me know when that thing comes out.
Oh, my goodness. And that's going to be a big fundraiser for the farm, because I already have a movie theater reserved, and we're going to have a big event, and all the proceeds are going to the farm. Oh, it's going to be awesome.
Nice. I love that. I might have to make a road trip for that.
There you go. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, how long of a drive is that?
You're not too far. I think it's like
6 hours?
6 hours, I think.
Yeah, if not, I've driven further. And I'm sure if I tell my wife, "Honey, we're going to New England," she'd be on it in a heartbeat.
Oh,
Problem
yeah?
is, I might not be able to come back because she'll probably want to move up there.
Really?
Oh, yeah. She's always wanted. The funny thing is, she's always talked about Maine.
That's where the farm's being. It's Alfred, Maine, is where the farm's going to be located now.
I've always wanted to move to Connecticut.
Ooh.
I don't know why. I've never been to Connecticut. Look, the furthest north I've been with my feet on the ground is New York.
Ooh.
So I've never been to Massachusetts, never been to any of them. Never been to any of the New England.
Well, you got to come now.
I know. Now that I'm, flying again and doing the long drives because I lost the weight. Go figure. You lose weight, you feel better. You can do things that you couldn't do before.
Unbelievable.
Oh, it's simply amazing. All right. So, John, before I get to my last question, which I have no idea what the hell it's going to be, is there anything you would like to add?
What I would like to add is never give up. Never quit. You guys aren't alone. If you're struggling with any kind of challenge, I don't care what it is. If it's a challenge, it's your challenge. You can do it.
I love that. All right. So what I've been doing lately with my guests, and somehow or another, the question they have picked somehow or another aligns with what we've been talking about. I have 100 different questions here. Don't worry, John. I'm not going to ask you all 100. And I have no idea. I have no idea what the questions are. What's that?
I'm an open book.
Pick a number between 1 and 100.
53.
50. Why 53?
That's my lucky number.
Okay. Wow. Okay. This aligns with what we were talking about. What's a piece of advice you received that initially made no sense, but later proved invaluable?
Fail to plan, plan to fail. I had no idea what my dad meant at that time. But when I was in prison and that recidivism, I said, I need a plan. I remember sitting in my bed, talking to my dad up in heaven, asking him for help. And that's where it came to me. Fail to plan, plan to fail. I got up that morning. I couldn't sleep all night. I was making a plan in my head. Because, Richard, jail was hell.
Yeah.
Jail was hell. I did not want to do this no more. I wanted to be home with my family. I wanted to be free. I wanted to do this. I didn't survive to be stuck in jail. No. So I made a plan. And Richard, thank God, because now I know what that means.
Yeah.
I really know what it means. Because I would have failed miserably.
I like that. Fail to plan, plan to fail. Wait a minute. Fail to plan.
Plan to fail.
Planned To fail.
Because you are going to fail. There's no
Oh,
question.
yeah.
If I didn't make that plan, I would have took that right. I would have went back to Worcester for $100. I'd be still sitting at that bar.
Yeah. And you learn from those failures.
Oh, yes.
John, I want to thank you so much. It's been a true honor. I cannot wait for this documentary to come out. And, yeah, you got to let me know when it's coming out. I want to try to make a road trip up there.
I sure will, buddy.
You know what? Give Jagger and Turbulence a big hug for me.
I sure will.
Give your mother even a bigger hug for me.
Oh,
Man.
thank you, buddy. She'll appreciate that. My mom is awesome. Awesome. I love living with her. Love it.
Nice. Nice.
Richard, she can ask me the same question 100 times, and I'll answer it with a smile 100 times.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, enjoy it, man.
That's right, buddy.
Let me. One of the things that I do miss, because I would go if I didn't make it over to the house, I would call my mom and dad every day.
Oh,
yeah, and to save my older brother, we would call each other every day.
oh, they love that.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
and just
they love
pick on each other, because if they weren't picking on me, I knew I wouldn't be loved.
There you go, buddy.
Take care, John.
Richard,
Thanks.
awesome. You have a great day, buddy.
You too. Thank you for listening to Conversations with Rich Bennett. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and learned something from it as I did. If you'd like to hear more conversations like this, be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. And if you have a moment, I'd love it if you could leave a review. It helps us reach more listeners and share more incredible stories. Don't forget to connect with us on social media or visit our website at conversationswithrichbennett.com for updates, giveaways, and more. Until next time, take care, be kind, and keep the conversations going. You know, it takes a lot to put a podcast together, and my sponsors help out a lot, but I also have some supporters that actually help me when it comes to the editing software, the hosting, and so forth. There's a lot that goes into putting this together. So I want to thank them. And if you can, please visit their websites, visit their businesses, support them however you can. So please visit the following: Real Life Prosthetics, cutting edge solutions, restoring ability since 2001. Go to reallifeprosthetics.com. Full Circle Boards. Nobody does charcuterie like Full Circle Boards. Visit them at fullcircleboards.com. Sincerely Sawyer Photography. Live in the moment. They'll capture it. Visit them at sincerelysawyer.com.